So, Father, what is your name? What is your name?
Father Lucjan Krolikowski.
Kolbe. So you're from Poland, right?
I am from Poland, yes.
And you have the amazing distinction of being able to, of knowing Father Maximilian Kolbe.
Yes, yeah. I stayed in Poland for 20 years, and in that time, you see, for 3 years, I have known Father Maximilian Kolbe, and I met him almost every day.
Okay. Now, you met him first in 1937, right?
Yes, when he came from Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
So returned from Japan, and that's the first time you saw him. You were already at Neopokalanów.
This was the first time I saw him, yeah.
Uh-huh. What were you doing at Neopokalanów?
At the time when I saw him, I was a student of minor seminary, mission seminary.
Okay.
Because Father Maximilian Kolbe wanted us all to be missionaries.
And so the seminary, he started at Neopokalanów.
Yes, yeah. At Neopokalanów, he added to this seminary later. He started with the monastery, and then after maybe a couple of years, 2, 3 years, you see, he found it in the same district, you see, of our seminary, of our monastery, there was also the building for seminarians.
So it's in the same encampment, basically, in the same campus?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And that campus he also started, right? St. Maximilian Kolbe started that campus as well.
Yes,
the entire city was his.
Everything was of his initiative. And he did it. His imprint.
Right.
Everything had his imprint.
And this was, Neopokalanów means the city of the Immaculate.
Yes, the city of the Immaculate, Neopokalanów. In Japan, for instance, he didn't call the monastery Neopokalanów in Japanese, but the jardin, the garden of the Immaculate.
Right. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. And then he started a very large printing apostolate there. That was
one of
the largest in Europe, right?
One of the largest in Poland. Yeah, in comparison with other, with even civilian, you see, very grandiose, beautiful.
Right.
700. Those friars, they worked for 3 shifts, day and night. Yeah, because we printed not only the Night of the Immaculate, but many other things, you see, even in Latin, Miles Immaculate.
Okay.
Miles Immaculate. And for the children also a little Night of Immaculata. At the beginning, you see, was writing a lot in the Night of the Immaculata, very many articles.
Okay.
So I was absorbing them, and I knew I had the vocation, but I didn't know exactly where I am going to be, where to go. And Father Maximilian had already a place in my heart. What prompted me to go to Neopokalanów, one day, And my uncle, who was a brother, you see, in our at Niepokalanów. He was in the administration, so he came to Poznań, my city where I lived, with an exhibition, Japanese artifacts. You see, Japanese religious artifacts. And he did not intend to visit my family because he was too busy with the people who came to see the exhibition.
Yeah.
But my sister met him in the street and invited him home. So then he was obliged to come to find a few minutes, you see. So he came, and during our conversations, for the first time, I said to my mother, I would like to go to Niepokalanów to be a priest. Wow. And my mother heard this for the first time, that I want to be a priest. And she said, I was praying for that, for your vocation.
That's beautiful. So you then went to Niepokalanów straight away?
Straight away. My uncle went back and prepared the papers, and they sent. So pretty soon I went to Niepokalanów. Yeah.
Were people very much proud of what he had done?
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. He was well known all over Poland.
Yeah.
We had many visitors. I remember that many visitors came to see Maximilian Kolbe from not only from Poland but from abroad.
Okay.
Yeah. And they visited the printing machines. You see, we had. Maximilian had this idea for the Immaculate, the best.
Right.
For us, something very simple.
Okay.
Something simple. Yeah, poverty. Yeah, but the printing machines, he went to Germany to find out, you see, which is the best one.
Best printing press.
Yeah, and brought it. I remember that you put, for instance, paper or the ball of paper, you see, on one side, and it goes through the machine, you see, and prints, then bends, you see, and clips, you see, and puts, and in two colors, and puts all prints also, the address.
Okay.
And so when it comes out, so it's ready monthly.
Ready for the mail, huh?
Yeah. So the friars packed in immediately into the sacks.
Wow.
And sent to the railway station.
Sure.
If you would ask me to ask a question, who is Maximilian Kolbe? There are so many friars, 700. Who is Maximilian Kolbe? I would like you to pinpoint him, you see, select and say, this must be Maximilian Kolbe. You would indicate the last one. He was so simple, so self-effacing.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what's the thing that you remember most about him? What was an incident that that he did or said that really struck you in your mind and has stayed with you?
Oh, when he came to our seminary, very often he played chess with us, and he could win each time with anybody, because he had a mathematical. He was a genius. You see, mathematical genius. So he could play with 5 or 6 at the same time and win everybody.
Wow.
But sometimes he gave us a chance to win also. We used to joke with him. And he had, from Japan, he had beautiful beard.
Which was a missionary thing, right?
Missionary, yes.
Franciscans.
He came, yeah. So his beard was totally black, like a coal, you see. Black on one side, but red underneath. And we were asking, Father, how come you got that beard in 2 colors? Oh, he said, oh, there's a story about it, you see. When I was in Japan, one day friars were short of tea. So I told them, don't bother, just prepare the boiling water and I will do the rest. And when they did it, so he said, I went and soaked my beard into this boiling water, at which that part which was above, you see, remained black. The rest was black. So these were the jokes, you see, he was giving us many times. We could see him in the light of his works, because he had one lung only in good shape, and the other was he had pneumonia. Tuberculosis. And the other one was also a little bit taken, you see. But so his voice was very soft, very. You see, at this distance to the friars, he never spoke without amplifier, microphone, never without microphone. He was friars. Friars, you see, they were so eager to listen to his words, because his words were beautiful, very deep, that they shorthanded it.
Okay.
And we have many of his sermons and talks, you see, written by the friars who put in shorthand everything. At the beatification of Father Maximilian Kolbe, I went to Rome, and at our monastery there, I saw a pile of books, you see, lying on the floor, and at that height, writings of Maximilian Kolbe.
Wow.
He was very prolific.
Right.
So this is how we knew Maximilian Kolbe, by his writings and by his works, by his deeds. Yeah.
So he was also had a very maternal spirit then toward his friars that were under him.
Oh yes, he was strict in the observance of the vows, but otherwise he was like a mother.
So he's a great organizer. He would
Yes.
be able to have these many different publications, and he was able to keep them all on target as far as being ready on
Then
time.
we printed also a daily mały dziennik, daily, which was also an object of envy of many other printing papers, you see, because...
So even the secular newspapers were envious of what he did.
And what he did and how he spread.
Right.
That they wanted to not destroy him, but you see, to not to go like this. You
Right.
see, yeah.
They're outdoing them, right? He was outdoing the civilian.
So what they did, you see, they had people in the post offices and asked them to slow, to put the newspaper from Niepokalanów 2 days later. So they had the other papers had a chance to be sold. What Maximilian did, you see, he didn't fight them, but he prepared friars, sent friars for to the flying school.
Okay.
And took our
Newspaper.
turned our football
into an airstrip.
field into for airport.
A runway.
He wanted to send by planes, you see. Yeah.
So that would bypass the post office, right?
Yeah. We all say that he prepared Polish people, you see, for endure the sufferings of during the Second World War.
Right.
Yeah. Cardinal Wyszynski and John Paul II, they were all both Marian figure. You see, so they were influenced by Saint Maximilian Kolbe. Yeah, Poland during communist era, you see, was 90% just Polish and Catholic,
Wow.
black. So they couldn't break it. You see, the communists couldn't break. Like, for instance, they broke in Czechoslovakia, Romania, Romania, and Hungary. You see, but Poland was resisting. Yeah.
Now, what about yourself? You were then captured. You were sent to another seminary in eastern Poland, right?
Yes. I was sent to Lvov, which is today is Ukraine.
Okay.
Eastern Poland. A large city,
Right.
very Polish, but Stalin had another plans, you see.
Right.
He incorporated Eastern Poland into Soviet Union.
Hitler attacked from the west,
Yeah,
and Stalin attacked from the east.
yes.
And
7 days later, they were supposed to attack both
right.
at the same time, but Stalin was suspicious of Hitler
Yeah.
and waited how he will succeed in fighting Poles.
Right.
You see, when he saw that the German tanks overran Poland, you see, and we didn't have much of those equipment.
Sure.
So then he attacked from 17 days later from the east.
So this resulted in you being very separated from St. Maximilian Kolbe and Neopoklanov, because he had these very big armies basically between you and them.
Yeah.
So what was your, after being Neopoklanov and everything working out so well, what was were you kind of scared at that point, being so, having things change so much and being so far away from home?
No, the occupation, you see, we knew that people were being arrested during the nights and shipped to Siberia. But we never thought, you see, we never suspected that they will take us.
Okay.
They came to the monastery and said that I have to get a paper, a temporary paper, you see. Otherwise, they could arrest me in the street.
Okay.
If I have nothing, no document with me, you see. So I believed, and I went to the police station to get this paper, you see, and at 5 o'clock in the morning, because I wanted to get almost first and then return for the philosophy sessions, lessons. But, and I was only in my pants, in my shirt. It was beautiful time, you see, June, in June. And I was staying there maybe 6 or 7 hours waiting. And there were many others who made
got their job done and left.
They were waiting also.
Okay.
And at one time, a soldier came out and said with a rifle, you see, it said to us that, listen, you hamper people to go on the side, you see, on the street. So please go into the courtyard of the police, you see, into the courtyard. When we went into the courtyard, you see, they arrested us.
And so did your association with St. Maximilian Kolbe help you get through these difficult times? Because you then went to Siberia too, right?
Neopoklanov for me is like a cradle, or a spiritual cradle. Yeah, I always return to the spirit of Maximilian Kolbe.
Even today.
Even today, when I was studying theology in Beirut, Lebanon. So because I was a layman, so I was in the, I had a castle, a diocesan seminarian castle for 4 years. And when it came to ordination, so I had to choose either to be under the bishop jurisdiction or a monk. You see, the Jesuits asked me to join him because this was the Jesuits' university, and there were some Polish Jesuits. But St. Francis and St. Maximilian Kolbe, they drew me back. They drew me back. And even my spiritual director, Father Valencin, a Jesuit, who was a Jew, you see, told me, this is a good choice. You have to get back to your roots, to St. Francis and Maximilian Kolbe. And I didn't know that Maximilian Kolbe was killed in Auschwitz at the time.
When did you find out that?
Oh, maybe when I came to Canada.
Wow, so is this
47.
47?
47.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. He finished high school, college, and applied for the novitiate. So some lay people and our priest, you see, they discussed each application. And when it came to Raymond Kolbe, his name was Raymond, not Maximilian, Raymond Kolbe. So one of the professors stood up and said, it would be a loss for the world to put him behind, you see, in the convent. He would be lost for Poland. He would be lost for the world, because according to me, he is a genius. Genius in mathematics, genius in physics. Physics. In 1907, he already prepared, you see, in how to shoot the rocket to the moon, you see, and how much it would be, they would have to have what kind of thrust
and fuel
to shoot it. You see, so he said, I am his professor, I cannot follow his thoughts. He is so bright.
Incredible.
So he could be another Copernicus,
right, or
Galileo,
right,
or Newton. So it's better to send him to the university, not to
seminary.
Yeah, to seminary. And our provincial answered him and said that I agree, he might be a genius, as you say, in mathematics and physics, but I will tell you, we have in spirituality, we have geniuses also, and we call them saints. So it's settled, you see, and when they discussed the name for the applicant, so because of the kind of discussion they made, you see, they chose Maximilianus, the greatest, you see, the Maximilianus, the greatest. So when Maximilian Kolbe got the news that he was named not Raymond, but Maximilianus, he said, "Hurrah! I want to be the greatest." But in what? In loving people and loving God.
Wow.
See, true loves. So I would bring out these two loves as his motto of his life. Yeah.
Well, that fits his death as well, because he gave up his own life out of love of God and love of his neighbor.
This is he proved by giving up his life that he loved God and loved neighbor.
What did you think when you first heard that, as far as the details of his death?
About what?
The fact that he died in place of somebody else.
I wasn't surprised. I wasn't surprised because he was, when he came from Japan, so he told the friars, you see, that he has been promised heaven, but don't ask more. He had such a, he must have had a vision in Japan, and our Blessed Virgin Mary told him that he will be in heaven, so that he wanted to share this. He couldn't stand, you see, to have this secret all alone. So he said to friars, yeah, I have been promised heaven, but don't ask more. Don't ask more. Who told him where it was? You see, yeah.
What would he say today if he knew today what the mass media is doing in regard to materialism and secularism? And
he was he wanted to use all means to evangelize. So that's why first he built the radio station, and it just before the outbreak of the war. Right. And he was thinking of Russia to send a
missionary? Radio signals? Radio.
To Russia in the Russian language, because we were very close to the frontier of Russia.
Wow.
Yeah. So then he also thought about television.
Wow.
Yeah, about television. He wanted, and his printing presses, you see, so everything to spread, to evangelize the whole world. And he wanted also to open up Nepokalanow's in many parts of the world. And in Japan, you see, the bishop told him of Nagasaki, you see, I didn't ask you to come. I didn't, why did you come? Go back to Poland. And Father Maximilian Kolbe, he didn't even had money to get back. because his superiors, you see, they were afraid that he will, that they will not be able to cover all the bills.
Yeah.
So Father Maximilian and this bishop said, when he was so angry, get out, go back. So he said, I am looking only for a professor, but not a missionary. For a professor I need for my seminary, professor of philosophy and theology. And Maximilian Kolbe said that I have those two doctorates. So he asked him to stay, and he helped me. In a month from landing in Japan, Maximilian Kolbe printed the first monthly in Japanese.
Wow.
Yeah, in Japanese, the Miles Immaculate. Yeah. So he organized, he asked the pagans to translate from Latin because he was writing in articles in Latin.
Okay.
And the Japanese clever men, you see, they translated into Japanese. And these people were pagans. So you can see that they had a saint, you see.
Right. Wow. You must have. Knowing that the church is not doing so well as far as attendance and maybe as far as a good of image as it ought to in the world, what would he say as far as how to remedy the problem?
He would say that we have to be holy. You see, this is the only way to spread the gospel, by being holy.
Wow.
No other way, no even printing presses and all other means, no. But as humans, we have to be holy.
So all the printing presses in the world won't do it. All the organization won't do it. It has to be the holiness, and from there, the organization and the printing presses will do fine.
Yeah. So this is the only way. Yeah, and holiness is the only sense of our being on this earth. Nothing else. If we don't get holy, we don't want to be holy, so our life is spurious, you see, nothing. Meaningless? Yeah, it's null, it's zero, it's complete failure. Yeah, we are created by God, who is love, and love is holiness. Yeah, to be holy, and He created us to love and to be holy, like Him. We are His children, so we have to be holy. Otherwise, if we are not holy, no, we don't have a ticket to heaven, to the kingdom of heaven. We have to be holy.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. He thought, you see, that Mary, as she is also human and knows our predicament, knows our situation on earth, and the shortest way to her son is by taking her hand, you see, and ask her to bring us to Jesus. So that's why his Mariology is so deep, so developed, because he believed that Our Lady will bring us to our Lord. And he knew also about, you see, about this prediction from the what God said to the devil in the, you see, at the beginning of our history, that Mary will conquer him, the devil. He converted many people in his life. Many people. He was not afraid. Our Lady appeared before the revolution in Russia started. Right. But Maximilian Kolbe didn't speak about Fatima because it was not yet approved by the Holy See.
Right.
And he was very obedient, very obedient.
Do you have a devotion today to St. Maximilian Kolbe? Do you pray to him?
Oh yes, every day after the Mass I say the dedication to the Blessed Virgin Mary according to St. Maximilian Kolbe.